Thank you all for coming. I just said a few words and then turn it over to you. I certainly appreciate everything that everybody in this room does to help prevent and respond to child abuse. This morning we had a press conference where my wife Tracy talked about the things that she's doing with a lot of partners in the room to make sure that every child in our state gets a good first chance. And if you think about so many of the issues that we deal with, if children did get a positive, strong first chance, we probably wouldn't be dealing with it today. And if we're not able to prevent some of the what we call adverse childhood experiences, or at least address those, then we're going to have more difficulty keeping these folks as they grow up to be keep them away from you. I personally can't think of anything that hurts my heart more than stories of child abuse. It just rips the heart right out of my chest. I don't know how those of you who do this every single day, I don't know how you do it. Most of us think about it only when we see a horrific story that shows up in the paper. I know you see it all the time. Part of your department is assigned that kind of work on a daily basis, and I just want all of you to know how important the work you do is, how difficult it's got to be, and so I'm happy to help at least today by signing this proclamation in part to rededicate all of us to do what we need to do to help prevent child abuse, address it when it happens. Unfortunately, it's a fact of life with too many children, terrible consequences for them, and it hurts us all as a society, frankly. And you have to deal with it every day, and we appreciate what you and your folks do. Why don't you say a few words? Thank these folks too.
Thank you, Governor. I appreciate that. And yes, I would like to start with thanking our front line here, because you are the ones who get those calls and have to go out there and deal with issues, and that most of us really can't appreciate because we haven't done that kind of work, and it's not easy. And for my folks who are here, who also are on the front line of things, it is extremely difficult. I spent the day with one of our workers a couple weeks ago, and I'm here to tell you, I think it's one of the hardest jobs in the world that they do out there. And so we are really grateful for all of your services. We shine the light on child abuse in April, and we talk about reporting and how to make sure kids are safe, and I think we've done a great job in that regard. I think the numbers show that, right? We've had a 180% increase in reporting in the last 10 years, and that's in no small part due to the work to other folks in this room who have really put the training out there and taught people what to look for and how to report and what they should be calling in. More work to be done for sure, but I think we've made great strides. Since the governor let me speak today, what I want to ask of everyone here, everyone who might hear or see it, is what can we do to help minimize adverse childhood experiences? What can we do to help build resilience? And we can do it individually, we can do it through our agencies, but how do we connect with children so that we can limit the number of those experiences, and whether it's poverty or child abuse or unemployment or substance abuse in the home, whatever. What can we do? How can we connect with that family to limit that and build resilience so that those children grow up to be better parents, and we can somehow start preventing instead of just dealing with it when it comes to us. So that's my ask of you all today, and I thank you for the support. I thank you, Governor, for this proclamation, and for helping us shine the light, and for everybody here who is dedicated to this cause. Thank you for everything that you do. One of the key people who I get the privilege to introduce right now is Karen Durazmo, who has spent, she can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 24 years as Executive Director of Prevent Child Abuse Delaware. And if you have seen these pinwheels flying around the state in front of schools or my building or anywhere else you might see them, she's the force behind that. So I'd like to turn it over to her for a few minutes.
Thanks, Joseph. Thank you, Governor. I think that the most important part of Child Abuse Prevention Month for me is that it gives us a chance to acknowledge each other and to really think about how great the result is when we all work together on behalf of children. I see many partners of mine in this room, and it really takes all of us working together in a collaborative way in order to be able to make the kind of change that we are talking about. Child abuse and neglect cause a ripple through a child's life, through that family's life, through that community where that family lives, and ultimately through our entire society. And so what we want to do in every single way that we possibly can is to prevent abuse from ever occurring, and also, if it does occur, to make sure that we're doing the very best we can to help those children along the path of healing. Effective prevention methods are out there. We've been extremely successful in Delaware. Leslie and I work very hard every day to make sure that people have home visitors, to make sure that families are getting a leg up so that they have the supports and resources that they need to do a great job raising their kids. So I'm here just really to say thank you to this entire community. Everybody has a role to play, and everybody does. And I think that's really the incredible thing about Delaware. I have never gone to anybody and asked for assistance and have them say no. People are willing and always so anxious to partner in any way that they can to help families and children. And so I turn over now to Patty, who has been a wonderful partner of mine for years. Years. I know, years and years. But but who has a new role now, and a very exciting role also as a partner. So, Patty.
Thank you, Karen. I just want to go over very quickly some important numbers that should make us scared and should make us hopeful. 1 in 10 children. 1 in 2 children with cognitive and developmental disabilities will be abused. That should scare us. But what should make us happy is that Delaware leads the nation in prevention training by a far margin. There's really nobody that's all that close to us. We've trained nearly 30,000 people. 30,000. Now, we had that goal, we all remember when Bo stood up and said, we're going to train 35,000, it's 5% of the population. Fortunately for the state, the net number has grown a little bit. But we are just about at 30,000. We spend every single...
Does that mean we have 5,000 to go?
Well, it looks like we have a little more than that, but because the population has grown. But we're going to get there. And you, Governor, are going to be the person that accepts the accolades for what you've done to make sure that this state recognizes this as a problem.
I want to lower the 1 in 10, too.
Yes, we want to lower the 1 in 10. We want to make sure that our children with cognitive and developmental disabilities are given the protections they need. This year alone, we've been able to engage law enforcement in an incredible way. We have trained members of the Newcastle County Police to serve as facilitators. They are going out into the communities on their own time to do training. We have trained numerous state troopers, and they have already made a difference going out into the community. With the county police, we have fully trained 2 school districts, and we will train the rest of them. It's getting done. So, yes, the Bo Biden Foundation thanks you all for what you do every day and for your long-term commitment. But the fact of the matter is, we have a ways to go before we are the first state in child protection. That's what we hope for. That's what we know will happen under your leadership. So
That's a good goal to have.
I think so too.
Representative Brady, would you like to say anything?
Actually, Governor, I thank you. And I discovered a very brief poem in my travels recently, and I just thought of this as I was standing here. And if I could read this to you, I think it's very befitting for the occasion, and certainly for the dedication that we provide to children. And it reads, if a child lives with criticism, they learn to condemn. If a child lives with hostility, it learns to fight. If a child lives with ridicule, it learns to be shy. If a child lives with shame, it learns to feel guilty. If a child lives with tolerance, it learns to be patient. If a child lives with encouragement, it learns confidence. If a child lives with fairness, it learns justice. If a child lives with security, it learns to like him or herself. And finally, if a child lives with acceptance and friendship, it learns to find love in the world. And I think that's what you all provide, and again, we thank you. Thank you, guys.
So it's our responsibility to set the example so that children can follow. I don't know if probably not prepared to speak, but if any of our law enforcement partners would like to add something.
Well, I know that state police obviously are very proud to be here, and we cherish the partnerships that we share in this room as law enforcement colleagues to address the critical needs of our most vulnerable population, and that's something near and dear to our mission. And not only address that, but really serve in all the ways that poem suggests, but as the proper mentors in their schools and their communities, coaching on their teams, and that's what this group of troopers here does each and every day in communities, and we're proud to serve in that capacity.
Certainly appreciate you.
I'll just add that the Newcastle County Police Department, we remain committed, fully committed, and I greatly appreciate the opportunity that we have to be a part of this. For me, looking back over my career, I think one of the most rewarding experiences I had was the opportunity to actually work in our Family Services Unit. And that was a unit that handled the child abuse cases, whether they be physical or sexual. And I can tell you that while it was very demanding and tough, there was no more, I don't think I've ever had a greater satisfaction than to be a part of holding the people responsible for committing these heinous crimes against children accountable for their actions, and also bringing some sense of relief to the families that were undergoing such tragic and unfortunate circumstances. So again, we stand committed. We will be here. Whatever is needed from Newcastle County Police Department, we stand ready and able to assist.
Well, obviously, you're the first responders in most cases here, and we appreciate that work. We appreciate the work you do every day, both state police and county police, and appreciate your being here today. I'm going to sign this proclamation, and if you want to, I don't know, bunch in, I think.
No cameras.
So I'm going to read just a couple of these whereas clauses. There are a number of them, and it's a proclamation in observance of Child Abuse Prevention Month, and it says, whereas every child in Delaware deserves to be cared for by adults who provide love, protection, and safe environments and example for how to live, whereas children who are abused or neglected can become permanently disabled and psychologically distressed adults, and whereas over 20,000 reports of alleged child abuse, neglect, or dependency are made in Delaware every year, and whereas many dedicated organizations continue to work in cooperation with federal and state governments to increase public awareness and promote individual and community action, and whereas individuals and organizations strive to eradicate this devastating form of violence, protect children, and help build healthy families and communities where children can reach their full potential. Now, therefore, we, John Carney, Governor, and Bethany Hall Long, Lieutenant Governor, do hereby declare April of 2018 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the state of Delaware, and encourage all Delawareans to join these partners to cherish our children and join in protecting them from forms of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. I'll sign this. There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you. Great work.